being in a depressive state with a mom who loves you this much is genuinely a double-edged sword because she wants to be here, she wants to fix it, and she wants to make it all better. But unfortunately, she lives 3,000 miles away, and I don't even know how to tell her what's wrong, let alone fix it. Hold on, I'm calling my mom.
Hit the line, what's the tea? They talk about everything. Hold on, I'm calling my mom. Paul is here, Barb too, and they talk about everything. Hold on, I'm calling my mom.
Like, oh my gosh, we're back. It's another episode of Hold On, I'm Calling My Mom. I'm like, the people can't get away from us whether they like it or not because we're going to drop a new episode every Monday, and here we are. I'm joined by the lovely, dazzling, freshly dyed hair. No more Jamie Priestley roots anymore. No more Joe Dirt. Welcome, Barbara, mom, to another episode with me. Hi, everyone.
Hi. Yes, it's just us this week. And
It
yes,
is.
the hair is on point this week.
It is. It's a whole. You look like a brand new bitch.
I feel like a brand new bitch.
You look like one.
Everybody at work was like, Barb, your hair looks so good. I said, it must look really bad for everybody
people
to
say
notice.
that. I mean, when the roots start coming to where the ear line is, we're gonna notice that, sweetie. But you look lovely. You look lovely.
Thank you.
And yes, it's just gonna be the two of us this week. But I was saying that so many people were like showing love to having Jordy and Brett on, which I love because I do like when it's the four of us because I feel like that truly showcases the dynamics of how we are, and like the fact that the four of us can just come on and like shoot the shit and cut it up, and we can be like, I don't like this about you, but I love you, and I don't like this, or Jordy can have a perspective of us being like a hot dysfunctional mess sometimes as a family unit. Those are
I don't
really
know if we're dysfunctional.
Okay, so we're not. So we're a lot. That's Barb's way of saying that. That's a buffer of her trying to not make us seem worse than what it is. I get it, but always trying to protect it. I'm like, girl, we are a hot mess sometimes, but like it is what it is. It is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah.
Well, I decided today, speaking of Jordy, to go on a whim of saying I'm just gonna get up and do something out of the ordinary today. And why not? I live in Los Angeles, California, and I should take advantage of it, right? So I was like, okay, we're getting up. This is my spontaneous thing. It's not like spontaneous thing. It's not like driving to like Joshua Tree on it's like, no, we're going to Marilyn. We're going to Marilyn Monroe's gravesite. That is where we're going. Like that is how I'm spending my Sunday morning.
Romantic.
It really is. It really is. But because she's there's multiple people at this place, right? And I had gone years ago, but I went with the wrong person, my ex. So we had to go with the right person and do it better this time. So I was like, okay, I'm taking Jordy. He's never been. He's lived in LA for
Oh, really? He's never been. Oh,
no.
Oh, that was so good of you then. I
love
that.
There's Marilyn, Farrah Fawcett.
Oh, is Farrah there?
Farrah's there, and then
so that's so it's still an open cemetery.
Yeah, Truman Capote is there, Don Knotts. Oh my gosh, who else was there? There was a couple other people that I had written down that I was like, oh, they're here. So she's got a stacked, but I was no, he's not there. Why would you think him out to be there?
No, well, because he was such a star.
But why would he be randomly in this
I don't know.
Huh? What? They don't just bury every celebrity here.
Think of Elvis, I know.
They don't just bury every celebrity here.
It's kind of on my bucket list to go to Graceland. So I guess I just really
subconsciously did that. Okay. Yeah. Barb just assumed that every celebrity is just born. Wow, that Freudian slip, just dead next to each other. Just one celebrity just after another. But they do have Hugh Hefner next to Marilyn, and but like I fucked with Hugh until you start to learn more about him and all the things that had come out, and I'm like, no one wants this creepy old man next to her, even in her grave. So I kind of like,
is
there's
he
all
next to her?
No, I think I think he was above her, and I
Mm,
think there was, like, a thing that said, like, when I die, I wanna be on top of Marilyn," and it was like, ugh, like, and I think that he was originally, don't quote me on this, but I think that they moved him next to her because it looked different than last time I remember, and I'm pretty
okay.
sure they
Yeah.
were on top of each other.
Yeah.
So, but now they're next to each other. That's what I saw, because 'cause I'm like, "Y'all can't be doing my girl Marilyn like that." But I was like, it's so crazy that I was, like, sitting there and I'm like, "This person is such a cultural legacy icon, such a pillar of Hollywood, and she's just there and right behind this wall, just RIP, baby, RIP." And I said to
Yeah.
Jordy, I was like, "Do you think she would like Addison Rae?" And I was, like, gonna start playing it because Addison Rae has a song.
Do we think their bodies are really there?
That's what I asked. Jordy said, "Yeah."
Oh, really? You asked that? Oh, that's
Yeah,
funny.
well, because I was like, I didn't know
Uh,
if they were cremated and there was, like, some
no,
pieces.
like that it's right, like, it's just for the Hollywood part, but then there's, like, a private that no one knows about because Hollywood
Yeah,
has so many
many, like, yeah,
secrets and you know what I mean? It's so mysterious, Hollywood.
it is. Well,
So,
the mystery
I
is I'm wondering what all
wonder.
these people do who have plaques there, and, like, I'm like, I wanna know how much that costs because there's people that have, like, shrines that are there, and I'm like, "Okay, that must be old, 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 like, Beverly
Yeah,
Hills
yeah,
money that, like, is
yeah,
everlasting, that the wells never running dry," because if for you to have a stacked, like, front right here means that you've done something
yeah,
where you can afford that. So, it's really weird because I was like, eerily enough, it's kind of like a therapeutic, relaxing kind of
yeah.
place, even though it's full of dead people, which is
Yeah,
kind of
but it's
morbid, but
quiet. There's,
yes.
like, trees, right?
Yeah, there's uh,
Yeah.
yeah, it's outside, so I would like to
I
think
mean,
that
but
there's trees for carbon, monoxide, yeah, but or is it no, not carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide. Carbon monoxide is the poisoning, never
you would
mind.
be passed out if there
Yeah,
was the
well,
other.
luckily I was at a grave site, so hey, we're calling it a day. But I did take Jordy to her house the house that she last lived in because it's only 15 minutes from there. Um,
Oh.
but it's crazy because I'm pretty sure they remodeled it completely,
Oh, yes,
and
that was the
I'm
50s.
pretty sure they don't have, well, she died in 1962.
Yeah,
So, she was born in 1926 and died in 1962.
that's
Um,
crazy.
but they I must have taken the numbers off the front of the house so people don't, like, drive by, but it's literally on in a cul-de-sac, which is crazy. So when you go down there, it's like you look it's stupid because you feel like you're, like, forced in
Yeah,
there, but
yeah,
there's
yeah.
literally just cameras all on you, like, so I was, like, just backing up, it's like, and it's just, like, awkward because there are just all these cameras
You're
faced on
on
you.
someone's camera.
Yeah, they
They
don't
got
play
a
down there.
picture of your license plate, they
Uh-huh.
ain't playing around.
But I
Yeah.
said I kinda don't like how everywhere over there, so that's in Brentwood, so that's about, like, 25 minutes away from where I live in West Hollywood, and I was like, "I don't like that all those houses, they're just completely different." Like, that whole neighborhood is like to have houses to hold on to the history of Hollywood, now they're just knocking them down and building these very, like, sterile, like, ugly,
Yeah,
like, modern
yeah.
homes, and I'm like, it just kills the vibe of the history of Hollywood. Like, if I'm living in Hollywood, I wanna live in a house where, like, someone's been here that was, like, a writer or, like, there's some Hollywood
There's
history
still
to it.
some, I'm sure
There's
still
some, but
more
there's less and less.
in the canyon and stuff, I bet you there's
There is, but there's
yeah.
just some less or less. Okay, side note, I have to bring this up. This is, like, really obscure from, like, a funeral and a gravesite, but I was in the restroom there, and someone was saying, like, "Oh, they don't have any toilet seat covers," and the person's like, "It's okay, I don't use them anyway, ever." I'm sorry, what?
Oh.
How do you not
I
use it?
I'd still put, like if they don't, I'll put toilet paper down.
Who
Well,
doesn't
first
use
of
it?
all, if I'm just peeing, I'm hovering.
You're
So,
hovering. Girl,
yeah.
those calves are strong as fuck. Those calves are
Yeah,
strong as fuck.
like, I'm not, like, sitting, like
Okay, I'm
yeah,
sorry. I don't ever wanna hear somebody tell me that their bare ass touches a toilet seat that is a public restroom and not your own. That is
yeah,
foul as fuck to me. That is
yeah,
foul.
yeah.
Like, no, like, we need to we're gonna shame people for this. You don't get to sit on your bare, nasty, stinky ass on a toilet seat and then not put something down on it and just
Yeah,
raw
that's what I'm
dog that
saying,
shit.
like,
Ugh.
just put some toilet paper down if you have to if you have to sit. Yeah.
Mm-mm. I'm just like, who thinks that that's okay?
Who said that to someone else in the restroom, a
Well, I'm
random
just like,
person?
no, I don't care. Like it, and I Googled it to see if they're really because Jordy was trying to like debunk it with me. He's like, I actually don't think it makes that much of a difference. And I'm like, it
No,
does.
it
But
probably once the air gets it and stuff like you
mm-mm,
it
I don't
does
care.
kill
I
the
don't even I
germs.
don't wanna know that the heat of your booty hole is pressing around there and just your damn cheeks just clapped up against that seat, and I'm gonna sit down after you and no ew, no. I don't care if you can't get anything. I did Google it. You can't get anything from that. But
Correct.
I'm sorry, a bare toilet seat with your ass mm-mm,
Do you
no.
know how many people probably do that?
I that's why I'm shaming everybody who does that right here because I'm like, Let's make a movement over that." I'm like, "That is wrong. I don't it just feels too intimate,
Uh,
something that your crevice is rubbing up
you're in
against."
a public
Mm-mm.
restroom. What do you think there's a lot going on in there.
No, you bird nest that shit then. You put all the toilet paper in there. I'm not about killing the
Bird
trees, but
nest it.
you gotta do what you gotta do, but come on, bear,
That's a good way to say it.
that's what they call it, bird nesting.
I never heard of that. That's funny.
Yeah. But I look, you learn something new from me every day. 33 years
Every
old, and I just
day.
taught you something, bird nesting. Go and use that to your patients in the
I
hospital.
am.
You're welcome. Well, I've been trying to figure out what has been my connection to Marilyn Monroe. Like, I'm in this like period where I'm very like enamored more than I've ever been with her because I'm like, oh, what is it about her? I think why people really like her or find a connection to her is because I think just traditionally she is just the depiction of like Hollywood it girl golden era, right? Like you just think of Hollywood and you think of her over top of like in the 7 Year Itch where she's
Yeah.
over the subway where the dress, you just think of all that because it's so glamorous. But I'm
But I
like, oh,
think like I think underdog too.
yes, that's okay,
Mhm.
yes. So I feel like it's traditionally, I would say more majority of people's standards, I would say they love her because of that, right? The it girl thing
Mhm.
or the beauty. But then I think the people who love her for the deep cuts and the understanding realize what a complex and
Yeah.
interesting human being she was. And I think they realize that they root for her because she was this girl who grew up in like 11 foster homes in the orphanage system and then became this icon
Icon.
icon, and
Still to this day.
still to this day,
Yeah.
but she never was fully happy, never was fully content where she was,
Mhm.
and I think that's where I'm registering with her at, right? Because
Yeah.
she is somebody we both have daddy issues too, so that plays a big role
Oh, my
into
daddy issues.
Sing it, Demi. So, the fact that Brett that's my brother's ringtone when I call him his daddy issues just it really
Oh,
says a
yeah,
lot
that
about our relationship.
we should have brought that up.
Yeah, that says a lot about our
That
relationship.
is your ringtone too.
Side note, I d for everybody and yourself, because I haven't told you everything, he did reach out to me recently because
Your
people are like,
dad?
"Oh" yeah, they're like, "Oh, we haven't, heard any updates or what's going on," and I did hear from him. He did follow up, and it was, like, "Happy Easter. Happy Easter," and it was like, "Love you, miss you, hope you have a great day," and I just said, "Thanks for thinking of me today. Happy Easter to you too. I hope you have a great day." And then it was like, "Love and miss you." And I'm like, I just can't find that in me to
Yeah.
say that because
You don't have to return it. Yeah.
that's just too to me, it doesn't feel genuine from my end to say miss you and love. Like it just doesn't
Yeah.
feel natural to me. Um, so anyway, back to Marilyn. So yeah, me and Marilyn both have the grounding that commonality of having daddy issues, but also um I feel like being somebody who's like sensitive. She's very sensitive. We love a sensitive girly who's in touch with her feelings and her emotions. She's somebody
I don't think she was in touch with them. I think she was very sensitive and stuff, and I don't think she was in touch with them.
No, she was, she was. If you read her journal diary entries, yeah, she's very in tune. But I don't think she just knew how to get past the blockage that started early in her life, which was the fact that she sought out men or people of
Yeah,
power to fulfill her cup up. But really, when you look at bird's eye view, you're like, or a different juxtaposition, you're like, bitch, you're a badass bitch. Like you're fucking Marilyn Monroe. Like any of these guys should be lucky to even be in your presence, right?
but see
But
how
that just
beautiful you can be and be
I
so
I
insecure.
know. That's what I'm saying. So I'm like, okay, that to me is what I think is really like enamoring about her is that she had the world in the palm of her hand being the superstar, and to her that still wasn't fulfilling enough because she wasn't genuinely like happy with herself, and
Yeah.
she wasn't fulfilled genuinely in her personal life within herself. So therefore all these great accolades and accomplishments aren't as rewarding because she's like, well, my life feels like this or whatever. So that's where I really like respect and love that about her. And I also was saying how I
I
feel like
think
she,
she's also very mysterious. There was all that
yeah, well, because,
mysteriousness around her. I don't know if we should get into the mysterious part.
oh,
That's
what about her like bopping around from like with the presidents and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, maybe that
I
we
mean,
might
it's not,
be, yeah.
I, I mean, we're not going to catch a lot. I mean, it's out,
We
it's factual and it's
it
out
might
there.
be going black right now for us. The
Why?
plug the someone pulled the plug on
Oh,
it.
because 'cause you're saying it's like a conspiracy, like someone's gonna be
Yeah.
out for us. Trust me, that storyline has been long put out there that that's the case, but yeah,
I know.
I don't believe she was murdered. I mean, I don't believe she committed suicide, I believe she was murdered.
Oh, I was gonna
Yeah.
say, "What?" Yeah.
No, I do, I stand by that because to me, the
Yeah, there
situations just
was
don't add up.
definitely,
Foul play,
foul play.
yeah, 100%. She knew too damn much because she was a powerful woman. See what she did? So, look, the guys
Yep.
that she spent her life chasing after ended up being the demise of her.
Mhm.
But I really respect her in the sense also of somebody using unfortunate situations to help propel them in life, to, like, make something of their life, like, she used Hollywood and this it girl persona to, like, get her
Yeah.
where she wanted to be, and I always was like, "Oh, I have used, like, my desire or aspirations to get to Hollywood and, like, make something of myself." That has always been, like, my silver lining, like, when things have been shitty at, like, home, with our my personal life or family things, I've always been like, "Oh, I'm using this because this is gonna help me get to where I wanna be." And I think I'm having a hard time now at, like, 33 to be like, "Oh, those things aren't always gonna fill my cup up inside emotionally if I don't know how to do that for myself." Like, I
Right.
think my whole lifetime so far of I would like to believe, knock on wood, the short years that I've been here have been 3 decades, is that I feel like I've always been like, "Oh, I'm going to go and do this, so that's going to make me happy. Check. I'm going to do this and do that, and that's
Yeah,
gonna make
yeah.
me happy." And I don't think that that necessarily brings you actual joy. I think it can bring you satisfaction of accomplishing something, but I don't think that's the ultimate piece of joy. And one of my besties was saying, ever since I've known you, you've always been somebody who has tied tremendously your personality and your being to your career or to this like I need to be somebody of something to feel fulfilled. And then I was like, I don't know if that's wrong though, because I don't think that that's wrong to have I don't think that's wrong to tie those 2 together because I was thinking the same way people are like, "Oh, being a mom or a dad or a parent fulfills you." I mean, to me, I'm like, "Oh, but that's like the same with like my career, that fills my
Right,
cup up."
because you can wanna be, the parent and, um, the best you can be and stuff, and, it fills you, but it shouldn't be all that you are.
But
You
that's even
should
still a
still
boundary too, because then, like, you've experienced that where it's like,
Yeah,
at the end of the
I
day, when
yeah.
your kids are kinda doing their thing and you sit back and you're like, "Okay, well, what do I do now?" Right? Like,
Mhm.
that I feel like is a issue many people or challenge many people
Well,
overcome.
moms also lose themselves, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we stop taking care of ourselves. We sit and, we're not even taking showers when when they're younger. I mean, like you start losing yourself, and that's when women
They're
start
not they don't
getting
even got time to put down toilet tissue cover on the toilets because when they go, they gotta
exactly.
go really quick. Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, if anything, it's like, oh, okay, like that 10 minutes by yourself, you actually need that to
Yeah,
keep yourself.
afloat and
Yeah,
being yeah.
yeah,
Well, so I think the moral of the story of why so lately I've been entrenched in this like her world and her life is because I'm like, oh, I'm going through something in my personal life right now where I'm having definitely a depressive down episode. Not just for the episode here, but for the episode I would say of the last couple months of my life. And I was like, oh, I think I see something that I admire about her is that, you can accomplish all these things, but if you're not feeling good about yourself, none of those things are going to matter.
right.
And it's hard because once you tie your identity to that so much, then it's hard to pull apart them and be like, well, if I don't have these things, how can I stand on my own 2 feet and still be like, oh, you're that bitch because you have this going on. And I think that's really hard to do.
Of course. Yeah, of course. It's because when you tie those 2 together, if things aren't going the direction you want with work or, anything, personal life or anything, then you take it more at heart.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Because your identity is with it. So to you it's all encompass. It's not just one little piece of you. It's the whole thing.
Well, what do you see going on with me right now? Because I was not admitting it. I feel like until literally like earlier this week, where I had a therapy session and the therapist was like, I think you're having like, or would you say you're having a depressive season or episode? And I was like, I get like, I was like, oh, if we really do have to label this, I was like, yeah, I guess actually I am because it's lasted a little bit longer. I feel like I'm somebody who I can like shake it off and move on. And then, it's like, okay,
Well,
we're
what
feeling down.
yeah, well, what is when you say that, talk about what your feelings are about that. Like, what does that feel like?
Like a
A
depressive
depressive
episode.
s yeah,
I feel like it feels like hopelessness in a way of like feeling that these things, like these goals and ambitions, or this, I guess, measure of where you're supposed to be isn't fully there. So it feels like, oh, like maybe I am delusional. Like maybe everything I want to do is actually so far fetched and it's just so unobtainable that like these things just aren't meant for me. That's like the negative part of me talking. But then I have this really like positive thing. And I was like, well, listen, bitch, a closed mouth doesn't get paid. It's Hollywood. You got to be a little fucking delusional and you got to show up and you got to be like that because if you don't, no one's going to do it for you. So I kind of feel like I always have this like ebbs and flows. But I think the older that I get, the ambition gets higher. So then there's the part where I like feel like, I sit on, like, I totally have pulled myself back from
right, what do you
being.
tell yourself? What do you tell yourself to get you to, like you're saying, pull yourself back?
Today I was like, "Oh, okay, well, let's get up and go see Marilyn's grave to go get you
Okay.
out of." But
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
that is so, like, crazy that I would say that, but it was more of just, like, the journey of feeling inspired to be close to something that you were, like, invested in the moment, but, I feel like I always find a way to be like, "Okay, I'm getting up today because I want to do this, or I wanna get better at this," but I feel like, when you have all these pillars that have been so like cemented into your foundation and then one pillar starts to go down and then the other pillar starts to go down, they all then collide and then the foundation is cracking along with
Mhm.
it because they it can't support the ones that are all falling down together. That's how I would visually say like how I feel because it's the career, it's the physical part of it. It's like feeling kind of like, oh, the same things that made me like happy or do things aren't really lighting me up like that anymore. And the therapist is like, I just want you to know I've been like in two of them myself and they're so brutal in the sense of like, you just want to like snap out of it and you just sometimes can't. And I think that's the
Yeah,
scary thing too, is like not
yeah.
getting out of it. If anyone's listening to this and they've ever had something where it has been um chronic, I don't know chronic if I constantly battle it, but I think this is like
Acute
one.
episodes, yeah.
Yeah, but this feels like a little bit longer than ones that I've had before. And that's what I think is scary to me because I've never struggled with, like, depression as much as I have, like, anxiety.
Yeah.
Um, and
Well,
I
I
feel
think
like
it's hard for go ahead, sorry.
no, no, I was just gonna keep talking about just like, I can feel like anxious has been something that I've always had my whole life. Um, but, like, depression, I think is kinda like a secondary thing that manifests over time. If it's, like, not something that's treated or diagnosed or something that if you don't learn how to fully, like, have the techniques for the anxiety stuff, how then it I feel like
Yeah,
the depression will kinda take over and stuff, but I have felt definitely for sure this just manifests in multiple ways of, like, how I show up for myself. I'm not
yeah,
really showing up the way that I have in terms of, like, being this, like, "Ah, yeah, let's go out." Like, I'm like, I
yeah,
kinda just wanna be by myself. I wanna have a lot of self-reflective time. I don't really, like, wanna go out and be as social because I'm like, I can't show up in the world if I don't even know who I am right now, right? Like that or
yeah,
if I'm trying to be this more, I guess, like, upgraded version of myself because I feel like that's where the growth should take me. I like to believe that like 5 years or hopefully even a year, we'll look back on this combo and be like, "Oh my gosh, mom, remember when I thought this was like the end of the world?" But this one just feels different than anything I've ever felt before.
how can people around you how do you feel they, like, help you through it?
Are you nervous about me or something?
No, I just know it's been weighing heavy on you, and, I think when it weighs heavy on you as a parent, it weighs heavy on me. So I
Well, because you
always
wanna step in
wanted
and help me. Well, that's the thing I said.
correct.
I feel like,
Any
when
parent's perspective, the first thing a parent wants to do is, "How can I fix this? How can I make them feel better? What can I do?" Like, they're the most important questions.
if anyone is listening to this and for you too, mom, this is the realest shit I feel like I'll say in a minute about to me, I felt like and this is where it all comes from of like this conflicting thing. It's like you think something's shiny, beautiful, perfect, and it's gonna give you this like outlet to a life that you've never had. And it maybe is like if you grew up in chaos or you grew up in emotional distress constantly, or you feel like you need like stability, you're like, okay, for me, I'm going to go out and get it for myself because it's going to be mine and no one can take this away from me. So I'm going to build a foundation of being the version of myself that I want to be. And I'm going to be myself. And I want to be in some way, shape, or form in a position where that is embraced and applauded to be myself. And I'm not an entertainer in terms of like, a singer, a dancer, like that's not me,
Yeah,
right? And I always felt like I had to work up the ladder of like, well, you like TV, so you got to pivot in this world and you're just going to be like seen and not heard. And then I started realizing that that was just not aligning to who I am anymore because I'm somebody that wants to be heard and also seen because I think I have an opinion on things and I think everybody should be supported to speak on things if they want to. The problem is I feel like I've gotten into the system, this machine in the industry to some degree, and I've seen how things work where it's not shiny, squeaky clean and new and like, "Oh, this is perfect," all the time. There are moments where it's like, "Oh, this is amazing," and then there are
right.
times where it's like really fucked up and sad and not right, and I'm like, but I can't sit there and live in a space where I know those 2 exist and I don't acknowledge both of them, and that's how I feel genuinely because that's how I am as a human. If I know, like, my relationship with my mom's so great and I'm like, "Yeah, it is," but guess what? We also clash about shit where I'm putting it out on a podcast and we're
Right,
talking about it because that is the beauty of the complexities of life and the nuances of things. I'm in a space now where I want to talk about both and that looks bad for people who work in my space, in my industry, where I've gotten a few comments already by people who I have respected and admired in this industry who are putting a negative connotation on me by going forward and doing this. They don't like that I am speaking outwardly about the good and the bad. They just want me to talk about the good. And they think, if you get that, it's like a scarlet letter, like, okay, well, you're not oh, like, you gotta be careful. That's dangerous. You're unpredictable if you're just gonna say things. And I'm like, mind you, nothing I'm saying is hateful, facetious, mean, but it now puts me in a place where my whole life is like, well, what am I now? Right? Because I'm like, I didn't think that being able to talk and be myself would be so much of a pivot, but it is because I feel like it's the reality of the system you work in. You are once again to be seen and not heard, and that is what's fucking with me now because it's almost like I worked hard to get in a space and I don't want to like throw a bomb in it and be like, okay, bye, but I
Yeah.
also want to be truthful to myself. So it's almost like keeping one foot in the door and one foot out of the door. It's like, how can you do both? And I don't think there is a blueprint of it, and I think I'm
No.
experiencing doing it in real time right now. So if people are listening and watching and they think this is a trauma dump, I'm like, no, this is somebody navigating an industry that I've worked in for 10 years that I love and feel like it is a part of my identity. And I'm learning how to navigate wanting to grow and be truthful to myself and be truthful to people who want to listen to me because not everybody respects that. They believe that you should just be be cute and be on mute. And that's just not gonna be me. I'm gonna be cute, but I'm gonna be on the volume all the way up too as well. So that's my real shit. That is my reality of what's happening right now.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. Did I
That's a
just
lot.
trauma dump on everybody? Sorry if you I'm like, that was from the gut. That's how I'm
That's
feeling.
that's a lot to pivot through, you
It
know?
is a lot because
Mhm.
no one tells you what
Right,
that's gonna
there's
look like.
no right, right.
Like, before being in the known, which was like, you work this position, you become this position, you now I'm like, "Oh, this is just a free for all now because I don't there is no real position for me." So I think I'm experiencing that, what what comes with that territory. Because I think like everything, there is beauty and positivity with it, and now I'm enduring the not so beautiful things of it, unfortunately, and I think it's a learning lesson for me to know that there will be both negative and positive on both like, someone commented on my shit and was like, "This is weird for a producer to say," or someone commented on another post of mine, and they're like, "That story's boring about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, how, I went up to an A-lister, I didn't even know it was her, and I
Yeah,
got kicked
well,
off a restaurant." And I'm just
you're
like, "Okay,
always
first of
gonna
all,
get
why are you a hater saying the story's boring?
right,
Just keep it moving. Your artwork
right.
on your page is boring. No one's buying that shit. That's why you have 100 followers. So, like, I'm not being mean about it, so don't be mean to me,
Right,
right? Like,
right.
don't start none,
Yeah,
won't be none."
that's what you
But
have.
I've exactly, but I've embraced that even that, me telling a story that is just what happened, there are still people who don't like just even strangers that will find something wrong with it. And I'm like, that's just the world we live in.
I mean, look at here I am with pop culture. Look at Addison had to sit and put something on Insta today.
Oh, what'd she put? Addison Rae?
Uh-huh.
What'd she say? Oh,
Like,
what do you
something about her haters or
Oh,
and then
no, you saw it up from my Instagram, bitch. It was that I posted the story that she said from Coachella where she said,
oh,
"To
yeah,
all
yeah,
to"
yeah.
oh my gosh, you saw it from me. Because and that's why I like her too, because you're a hater on her. You're a
I'm
hater on
not a hater on her.
no, you
I don't
just
wanna
can't get into it.
don't even I just can't get into it. I'm not gonna say negative things about her.
No, you're not a hater where you, like, drag her to filth, but
No,
you're not on the Addison love train right now.
no, but again,
But
she's 20 some years old.
Barb
I
supports
s
women and doing an entrepreneurial endeavor, so
absolutely. I'm just she's not you have showed me you and your brother with music, all different kinds of music, and introduced me to a lot of people that I never heard of or anything, and she's just one that, like, I wouldn't keep listening to,
and I
but
said, "This
I
is where me and
support
Barb
her.
are gonna
She's
have
in
to."
her 20s, so I just think it's, like, too young for me. Like, some of
Got it,
them
yeah.
like
I don't
Sabrina
I
Carpenter, love her. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I
because
love them.
I think Addison is for, like, gay people like, I don't know, I just feel like the gays get her, maybe, like, the real young girlies, because I feel like why I like her, very Marilyn Monroe-esque, if you ask me, with the sense of very infectious, kind, sweet energy, very
Oh,
angelic. Addison.
Madison. Oh, okay.
Yeah, like, she has, like, those, like, kinda cutesy
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
moments, but she's really smart, and I think people like to just put her in the box and be like, it's the same stereotype. It's, "Oh, Marilyn's a dumb blonde that's just good for sex appeal." No,
Yes.
she's not. She's a deep, sensitive, emotionally intelligent human being and a smart woman to get to where she is. You can't be stupid. Same thing with Addison. She found an entry point. She popped on TikTok. She was doing the dances and was great at it before anyone else was. And then guess what?
Yeah.
She's like, I'm gonna use this entry point to be a motherfucking pop star. Britney Spears, watch out. I'm your daughter. And that's what she's doing. And is
Yeah,
she
I guess, yes.
and
I
I'm like, we don't have a pop girl like her right now. And the haters are always gonna hate because they're gonna say, you're from TikTok, you're a TikToker.
Yeah,
You can't even sing. You're not well, guess what? If you keep talking about her, you're adding to the hype around her. And I
right.
like that she keeps winning because I'm like, I like anybody who just makes people mad by just being themselves.
Like, I like Marina, and
Mhm.
she's older, and I like the Sweden girl, the Swedish
The
girl.
sweet the Swedish girl. Who's that?
I don't remember.
Never ending midnight sun. I can't go on
Yeah.
longer, we'll get sued for it. Zara Larsson. You like
Yeah,
Zara?
I do.
Zara's
I like
they're the
her.
same. Addison and Zara are the same age.
Oh,
Have
really?
you ever seen a pretty girl? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Or like Zara is maybe a couple years
Yeah, I
round
just
about the same
very
age.
it's just
Okay.
but they're
But
all
yeah,
doing their thing.
they are. Yes. Power to the girl
Girl
power,
power.
bitches. Girl power. We clock it, clock
Clock
it.
it. Girl
Um,
power.
but okay, I think your initial question, other than this tangent that we went on, was how can people around me support me? Or is
Yes.
it me I feel like they
Or
just make
anybody, like
oh,
anybody
anybody.
who's feeling down or depressed, how can people around them support them without saying the standard, "Oh," the standard, "Oh, you'll be fine. Oh, give it a
Barb
breathe."
wanted this to be a PSA for people with, that are currently with my mental state for people to have a this is
Well,
her way
because
of
I think it's a good thing
I
because
agree. Well, what is
it's
it like for a mom to have to struggle to watch their kid and not be able to help them is what you're essentially implying with all the
yes.
questions, correct? Yeah, okay.
Yes, thank
So,
you for clearing that up.
you're welcome. It's the producer in me. I'm like, "What's the through line here? Where are we getting at?" Like,
That
just
is
let's
the
ask
through line,
the
yes.
through line is Barb struggling with this in real time to want to help me, and she's trying to do the best that she can, so she's thinking, "Well, if she is going through this, maybe there's somebody out there listening who's gone
I
through this
know
where"
there is. I know there
Absolutely, there
is.
is.
Yes.
Um, I feel like it's just having the space of knowing that, like, maybe this person isn't always gonna be, like, their most, like I say to Jordy, he lives with me, right? Like, he's gotta deal with the most, like,
The
oh, like
blunt of it. Yeah, the
yeah,
everyday.
like
Yeah.
well, because like, if you're not showing up for yourself in that way, then you're definitely not showing up for your significant other that way, right? So, I'm like, he definitely has had to, like, deal with, like, the emotional roller coaster of, like, some days I'm just like, "Yeah, I'm, like, not where like, I hate myself right now. I'm not like, I hate where my life that type of
Right.
talk, which can be
Right. You
emotionally
feel it.
exhausting for people.
Yeah.
Um, but I think it's creating the space to have understanding of knowing that I believe, unfortunately, everybody's gonna have some variation of this type of down or having a moment in their life where they're like this, and I think you just have to, like, be there for the person that you would want that person to be there for you because it's gonna come to you at some point. That's just life and it's inevitable.
Yeah, so how is that? How does
I don't know
family
if they're
show up? Yeah.
I know, I think just being themselves and doing like they always would, just, like, checking on them or knowing maybe that I think it's more of just understanding. I think it's more of the place of knowing that when they're talking, that if they're expressing and venting or having a conversation with you about something, they're not just doing it for, like, fun, like, they're doing it because they need, like, a ear to listen, they need a shoulder to lean on, they need something that feels tangible, and, like, love to me is tangible in terms of people and connection, so if they're feeling more like myself, like, secluded and not really, being outside and like, "Oh my gosh, girls," like,
Yeah.
yeah, then you're probably the people that I have the most access to or the most conversations with, so I think it's just I don't know, just, like, being like, "You know what? Why don't you go get this massage today on me? How about"
which I did.
I know, and then I felt guilty and I was like, "No, don't do it, don't do it." But not like that. I just think I don't know, I think it's just hard. I just think it's almost like agreeing with the person, like, "Damn, bitch, you've been through some shit. You're going through it right now. This is you're having your drop off moment right now, but, when you go down, you
So
go
to
back
be
up 10 times higher."
so be supportive, encouragement, don't disregard of the feelings and being like, "Oh, you'll be fine. Just go do this, just do
Yeah,
that."
yeah.
Yeah.
I think the problem is most people just, like, wanna give it sound advice and be like, "Well, you should go try, like,
Right, right,
doing
right,
a sculpture class," and I'm like, "No, I don't wanna go to a fucking school like, that's not gonna
right,
cure my,
right.
like, issue," you know what I mean? That's just gonna give me
Mhm.
something temporarily, and at the end of the day, I think it's hard because I don't really think that there's an answer of, like, a switch that, somebody can just miraculously turn on. I don't think
Right.
that's how it works, but I
I
think,
know
like
my little things are I always make sure like, I'll always be like, "You okay? You okay?"
yeah,
Before you hang up or something, or I'll be like, "You okay?" Like, I
yeah,
ask. I
you do
ask.
ask.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
that's important to ask.
But I think to me, it's the body of work with you is that I feel like you have always been supportive and invested in me. So I don't feel like one moment is like, oh, like, my mom's not there. Like, I feel like just being able to call you and talk to you and just be honest and things are like what to me makes me know that you're there and you're supportive and you don't combat it and you don't go, well, like something that will piss me off, like, and I'm not
Yeah.
gonna name who did it. They may be in this house with me. They maybe trying to suggest like, hey, maybe, you're going this way, but you're actually meant to go this way. And I know that comes from like just maybe a different perspective of thinking like, oh, maybe this person just isn't as locked in as they think they are, but I believe personally for myself, like, my gut always has to steer me in the right direction because that's where I know that works, and I just feel like that's such a superpower to have that, and I feel like I need to always listen to that, and I feel like that's what drives it, but then I also feel like I'm a complex over analytical Virgo where then I'm like, "Well, my heart says this, my gut says this, but then my brain
My
says
body
this."
says this, my brain says that.
Yeah, there's like 3 different parts of me, that are like
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
it,
yeah.
but I feel like when they're all in line and they're attuned, then I'm like, "Oh, I gotta roll with that." So those are I think when someone's going through something that I am, I feel like you can't tell them what to do or try to steer them in a different direction. You have to let them rock out, but you have to just be supportive about it.
I know, and I hope and the worst thing about it is, like, during those times is, like, I wanna say, "Come on over," so I can sit and give you a big hug.
Hug, I know. Well, I also think that and I feel but I feel it from afar like this. Like,
I
I know
know.
that you wish you could do something, and you do. You show up for me, and you love me always, and that's what means the most to me. I said, I don't think I would be maybe in the headspace that I am in terms of feeling supported if I didn't have you, Brett, or Jordy, in that way, because that's where I know that I can always lean on it when I feel that way. And
Well,
I think
sometimes when as when I hang up, I'll be like, "All right, did I say anything good? Did he take in what I said?" You know what I
I
mean?
do,
Like
but
those kind of
I
things,
don't
but
call you for and
yeah,
talk to you
yeah,
like this for answers. I've realized
yeah,
that, like, I don't go to my mom, and I don't think I ever have to some degree maybe when I was younger, but I don't call you for answers anymore. I call you to I will for certain things, like, "Oh, do
yeah.
you think, like, what do you think this about this person?" or something like that, but, like, was I reading too much into it? Do you think that they thought this? I'll call you about things like that, but when it comes to making decisions about, like I've never said, like, "Mom, should I move to" I'm like, "No, I'm moving to"
Yes.
you know what
No,
I
no, no,
mean?
no,
Like
I'm not talking about those things. Yeah.
no, no, I'm just saying there's a difference, and I feel like also for my mom, and I know Jordy has felt like with parents, I think their initial response is, like, when you feel like you were going off of, like, an unpredictable path in terms of, like, career endeavors or pursuits or aspirations, parents don't know how to deal with having something that doesn't feel like it's like, okay, here's A, B, C, D, because they're coming from a place of fear and their own insecurities that they
Yes.
unintentionally project onto their children. You have sometimes said to me, like, are you sure you want to do that? Like, where I've been like, oh, I feel like I want to do this. And you're like, are you sure? And it's
Yes.
not because like that is what makes me mad, and it's not like you do it specifically. A lot of people do it, but it's like, no, I'm sure because I wouldn't be having you this conversation if I didn't feel like I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
sure,
yeah.
right? Because I'm not somebody that's just like, I'm gonna be a parasailer tomorrow. Like you'd be like, huh?
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay, call
Well,
somebody. I'm not
yes,
right.
and I think our generation too, and as parents, we sometimes don't want, because of our own fears, don't want to take chances that maybe our children would take, or a road that our kids would you know what I mean? Like, we like 9 to 5 and this
No,
and
yeah,
that and that
because
and that,
you like security. You like
Yeah,
security and having
yeah.
that. And
And
I
some
feel
we don't wanna take chances or do something out of the norm or do something like, "Oh my god, that's so courageous." You know what I mean? When our inner might not have that,
see, and it
adventurous and ambition to do that. Yeah.
and I don't view myself as adventurous or, courageous in any way. I'm just like, "Oh, I'm just living my life." Like, I don't think what I'm doing is anything that's like, "Oh my gosh," but I'm like, I wouldn't like, when I have security, that's when I don't like it in a way of like, I don't like having to play in someone else's space. I wanna play in my own space,
Yeah.
and I feel like in order to do that, you have to create your own space to do that. Because no one I used to think like coming to Hollywood, it'd be like, someone sees like, oh, little Paul from New Jersey, Franklinville, New Jersey has like all the aspirations and drive and hunger in the world. And he has the personality that just like is there. Like he wants it and he'll do anything. And it's like, what is it he wants? And I like, what is that? And it's to me, it's like, oh, being in that's another thing too. Where is my true intention? My true intention was to think I was gonna be this like development exec that's gonna like sell all these shows and that's gonna be a showcase of my personality, or I'm gonna be this like outstanding producer and I'm like, sure, those are qualities that I still like. I want to have those things and I feel like in some way have my foot in the door, but
Yeah.
I can't do it the traditional way. I cannot do it because that to me means I'm living in someone else's blueprint and space that they've created for me to do that. And I don't feel right doing that. I'm like, I need to walk the walk to talk the talk.
Buck
And
the system.
you said fuck the system.
Buck the system.
Oh, I was like, fuck the
Right,
system.
we could
Period.
say buck
Okay,
the
fuck the
system.
system. Yeah, I just don't. But I'm
On
like,
that note,
but then it kind of feels like when I start to have those moments, I'm like, all those things kind of make sense though, because it's
yeah,
like I've never liked to do what other people have done.
agree.
I don't.
I who you asking to?
And I just feel
Mother,
like
yes.
yeah, like, right? It just that's what I'm saying, like, none of these things really should be that surprising at the end of the day because I'm like, in school, when I felt like people just made fun of people just to make fun of people, I'm like, I didn't like that. I was like, get to know that person before you do that. And I'm not gonna jump on the bandwagon because these fuckers all think it's funny to do whatever Joe's doing. I don't care what Joe's doing. I'm gonna stand on what I wanna do. And I think that's where, like, I don't know. I think now that's, like, coming full circle as an adult,
Period.
right?
Yes.
So, to sum it up, I'm having I'm in a depressive state. I'm actually can say, yes, I'm in a little depression, which is kinda crazy to say that out loud, and I'm trucking along, and to me, that's not gonna stop me from doing anything. It's still gonna make me motivated and do something, but the fact of the reality is that unfortunately you can't control when those things happen. So I just got to let it rock out and hope that it finds its footing. And my mom is struggling, I guess, or having a challenge as a mom to some degree of wanting to fix it and, put a band-aid on the boo-boo and kiss it and make it all better. And she can't. And I think that's hard when we have such a close relationship and we live so far away that it's like, what can she do? And it makes her feel just as hopeless as it makes me feel hopeless about my own life. It makes my mom feel hopeless that she's
Yeah.
not doing a good job as a mom. So all of it's kind of a vicious toxic cycle because I'm like, well, I'm depressed. And now it's like, well, she's depressed because she's not a good mom because she can't fix it. And it's like,
Well, I
that's,
think we get into I feel energy from
yeah,
people.
me
I'm an
too.
energy
You always have
feeler.
been that way. Yeah.
Yeah, so when I feel you feeling that way, I feel it in my being. If Brett feels something, I know something's on his mind. I know he wants to talk about like it's in like I feel it. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
You're
So
very
it's very
intuitive.
hard. Yes, I'm very intuitive, so it's very
Mhm.
hard for me to shake things like that, so it wears heavy. It's almost not that I'm going through it like you, obviously not, I'm not comparing that, but I feel it in me, like,
No,
I can
yeah.
f yeah,
But that's what I'm saying, these things all affect people, whether
yeah,
it's it's not just a one solo journey ride. That's why I'm like, that shows that I have people that care about me that take it on like it's their
we
own,
do,
which
we
I
do.
know.
Love you.
I love you. I love you more. Thanks for always being there for me and wanting to try to do your best and do it. And I
Thank
believe
you.
that it will all subside and just be a chapter, which sometimes I get scared that it's always going to be like this, but I know everything in life is temporary. And I also love that I get to do this because I'm like, oh, okay, like we
Here
talked
we
about it and it's
are.
real and it's honest and that's genuinely what's happening. And like I said, there's good moments where I come on here and I'm like, "Oh my gosh," and then there's moments where that's not it, and I appreciate you always showing up, and I appreciate you
Aw,
listening
of
to
course.
this in your car, at home, at work, on the TV, listening to this, and I always hope that someone can walk away with this of being like, "Damn, I felt that way," or wow, like, I
Yes,
never
I
thought it," like,
agree.
that's all I've kinda ever have wanted to do, I think, deep down inside,
I
um,
agree.
having people be seen for who they are. So,
Yes.
and I hope that you guys see us for who we are, that we're trying to grow that social media following because I am gonna promote this till the wheels fall off. If you haven't already, please make sure you are following us at Hold On, I'm Calling My Mom on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. You are subscribed on YouTube. We drop a new episode every Monday at 10 a.m. PST, 1 p.m. EST. Check us out. If you got a question, drop in. I love when I get them piled up and I like to use them for the episodes. And we've had some really great people reach
Yeah.
out. So email us at Hold On, I'm Calling My Mom podcast. Hold on, I'm calling my mom podcast. Hold on, I'm calling my mom podcast at gmail.com. Wow, say that 10 times. Say that 3 times fast. And I love each and every one of you who listen, show up for us, get us to have fun and tell our truth. And Barb, I love you for just always being an unconditional, loving mom that you are.
I love you, sweetie. Alright, I'm hanging up now.
Call you
Bye.
later. Love
Call you
you.
later. Love you. Bye.